Sorry, I have to yell at my dog for a second. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Unmuzzled, a podcast. I am your host, Sarah. I'm going to redo that. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Unmuzzled, a podcast. I'm your host, Sarah. I wish you guys could see all of this going. You probably hear it. I have dogs that think it's like dinner time at 5 o'clock. It's really normally 6 o'clock, their dinner time. Like dogs and like the time change, it doesn't go like they are begging me at 5. They don't want to eat at 6. Now they want different things. This is what happens when you have 4 dogs. My guest, by the way, has a lot of dogs, a lot of cats, and other pets. We'll get to Alex in a second. But it is always things going on. I have Steve here. He's worried because Einstein's bullying the other dog. Oh, man. Presenting sponsors, you're up. Thank you so much to our presenting sponsors. Canine Cruise is the place to take your pet. They offer dog and cat boarding, dog daycare, pet retail, and mindful day school. Tons of indoor space with a huge yard. Canine Cruise is your one-stop shop for professional pet care in Chicago. Kiki's Corner Natural Pet Foods in downtown Winfield, just a block south of CDH Hospital on the railroad tracks. Kiki's has all your food and health aid needs for dogs and cats. Kiki's Corner for a healthy, happy pet. Thank you, sponsors. I really appreciate you. I'm bringing Alex right in because we have so much to talk about. I'm so excited. I know. I've never really had somebody like you on the podcast. So welcome, first of all. I really appreciate you.
Well, thank you so much. I'm excited.
Yeah. So for anybody that listens to the podcast, you know, Live Like Rue Foundation, our foundation for animals with cancer, does have a contingent in Nashville, which is awesome because we basically have Live Like Rue, you know, we're worldwide. We help people worldwide. You know, it's not easy to send care packages to Europe and Canada and all these places, but we're able to financially assist throughout the world. And it's nice to be in a city like Nashville because it is a dog loving community. And every time I go to an event with Kyla and Karen there, the vendors like love each other. They all know each other. The dog community really like they all respect each other. And I think, you know, I have seen in my rescue days now, I'm now 50, but like 10 years ago, like, you know, rescues used to be at each other's throats. It was like really competitive with other pet vendors and dog vendors. Now, like, and it's happened in Chicago. Like we all like really embrace each other. And it's just so refreshing when I go to these events because every vendor says to me, oh, this is the best. I get to see Alex or, you know, I get to see so-and-so. So I know, Alex, you probably can speak on this way better than me, but it really is a special community in Nashville.
Yeah, it is. It's a diehard community. Like you said, the vendors all know each other. If you're in a dog business focused, and specifically like rescue oriented, or like have that like caveat to your business or your organization, they're your ride or die. I've met some of my best friends just from it's like, hey, you have a dog business, I've got a dog business, like, and so yeah, we're ride or die.
Yeah, I love it so much. This is like such a warm feeling. And, you know, I come in there and a lot of people don't know who I am, or maybe they've like seen me on Live Like Rue, and it's such a warm welcome. It's great. So before we get to your business, which is amazing, and we want to talk about a little bit of controversy with puppy yoga and how it's blown up and how people take advantage of it. But tell me about growing up. Tell me about growing up and just like where this passion for animals came from.
Yeah. So I've had animals my whole life. We were the household that, a dog just would come up on the porch, or a cat, they just found us because they knew we were like, "Mm, okay, come on." But it just has definitely like grown into my personality even more. In college, I did an internship at the Blount County Animal Shelter, and that's where I really started to kind of see the hands-on work of people in more of like a shelter environment and really getting to connect with those animals, seeing the work that goes in from the volunteers and like their commitment in time, and then like the way that the animals impacted me. That's where I met my soul dog. That's the dog that changed my life. And it's just been go like a growing obsession ever since. I now have 5 rescue dogs. I don't know that I'd recommend it. It's a little crazy. We've gone a little too far, but we love working with them. It is 100% my entire personality. And if I don't small talk anymore, I talk about dogs.
Which is honestly the best. It's like those memes that you see, like when you get to a party, you want to find the dog that's there.
Yep.
I love that.
Yep. Socially awkward unless there's a dog or you want to talk about dogs. That would be
right, right, totally. So you obviously, sorry, not obviously to me because I know you. You are now in this yoga aerial space. How did you get there? I think it's a very unique business. That a lot, there we see a lot of yoga studios, but what you do and the way that you operate, it I think is unique. Just from talking to you. So tell us, how you got into this yoga and movement situation. I just don't have a better word for it right now. But tell us, because I think it is kind of cool how you operate.
Hey, yeah. So I started I've always been an athlete. I've always like done movement, and it's always been a love-hate relationship. But in 2018, kind of started dipping my toe into like teaching group fitness and trying to create community that way. And actually, one of the first um, ways that I taught class, I just wanted to practice in front of people. So we would host yoga in the park for free, and we would invite people to bring their dogs, and we would like set up little leads in the park so people could clip their dog on, and then they could do class with us, and we got to hang out with them that way. And that was 2018, and now it's grown into like a full scale business. But the idea is that we are creating a movement space for joy, so where people can come in and they can move their bodies with the sole purpose of finding joy. There's no pressure to change, there's no pressure to do anything, and that you're allowed to just come and move and have a hobby. And it doesn't have to be so massive and so huge, and you can find community in that. And that we want you to make decisions for yourself when you're in our space. So we're there to guide you, we're there to offer suggestions, but ultimately what we want is for you, our students, to decide what's right for you in that moment, because it'll change from day to day. What's going to feel good for you today? What's going to make you feel strong? How do you need to rest today? And when you decide that and you make that decision for yourself, it's really powerful. And it's just really our whole goal is to foster bodily autonomy and just create space where people can access and move for simple joys. Yeah.
I love that. And I was telling Alex off camera, Live Like Rue did a yoga event, and you know, I wasn't good at it. I'm sure that's not shocking to people that know me. But it's mostly because I can't focus. And like part of yoga is the brain, it's like focusing. And I do think, for many people that might not be in the best shape or have ever done yoga, it is intimidating to take that first step, to say, okay, I'm going to go into this shop, I'm going to sign up, I'm going to get out of bed and go to my first class. So it's very reassuring, in my opinion, to know that you're walking into a comfortable space. You're doing what you can. You're not being forced to do these things that you know that you can't do, or you don't think that you can't do. But then, you progress, and eventually you may be able to do them. So that ends up being like this moment for you where you have advanced and you've won and you've defeated your brain, right? Which is awesome.
Yeah. It's like creating a space where the person feels safe enough and empowered enough to try, to be a beginner, to know that, You're not supposed to walk in and know everything there is to know about yoga, about aerial, about, whatever it is. And that we're here to cheer you on. The people in that class are there to cheer you on. And then like I was saying again off camera, of we celebrate no's as well as yeses. So when someone comes in, they're like, okay, yeah, I want to try that. Like, I want to go upside down in the aerial hammock. Great. If somebody's like, I'm not sure. Today I'm just gonna sit in the hammock and I'm gonna feel it out. We're like, yep, that's fantastic. And you'll hear whole classes start to cheer for someone when they say no. And that's been a really powerful way to really instill in, you see it in the whole community. It's not just, hey, we're this way. It's like, no, you feel it when you're in the class. You feel it with the students because they've gone through the same process of like getting comfortable. And so they want to make sure that every new person that walks into the space gets to have that same progress. Especially if you can, sometimes you can tell if someone's really nervous or if they have more of a strained relationship with movement. Yeah. And they're like, nope, we can rewire. We can do this. Like, we can have fun with this.
I love that. That's so important. So really, like, one of the reasons I wanted to have Alex on, minus, her being a great partner with Live Like Rue and her business being kind of patterned around dogs and giving back, which I love, is, we have seen an explosion of puppy yoga, and we have seen people that take advantage of it, including breeders and, puppies and, sick dogs coming into these spaces so people can make a quick buck. We've seen it a lot here in Chicago. I know, Alex, you've probably seen it too, but I would love to hear your point of view, because I think it's disgusting when people take advantage like that for something that is, a fad or that they can make a quick buck from, and they're bringing in these like awful, and it's not the dog's fault, these awful breeder puppies that are so sick, and it's so wrong to make this quick money.
Yeah. So we've been doing yoga with rescues since 2022. We did our first class ever with Soar Rescue when they had a litter of husky mixed puppies. And it was one of those where we're just like, let's just see what happens. I'm sure we could give this a shot. And it was great. And since every class we do, we learn a little bit more. But because rescue and animal welfare is at the core of our values and wanting to make sure that we are being responsible with that, like, yes, there is a business aspect to everything. Don't get me wrong. It is great for marketing. It is a great way to get people in the door. And it has brought in revenue for the studio. So there is a business aspect to it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to pretend that it's all sunshine and just we all do it for the good vibes. But there's such a way to make sure that you're utilizing these classes as opportunities for education, opportunities to get exposure for the dogs. And when I say that, I mean letting people know that they're up for adoption, letting people know that they don't necessarily have to adopt a dog to get involved with an organization, or different organizations have different like values and missions. And so like Live Like Rue being really focused around like supporting animals with cancer and their humans, that teaching people about all the different aspects that go along with these organizations, but making sure that we take care and responsibility for the animals, and for the practice of yoga too, because there's a lot of controversy around that as well, of like appropriation with yoga, and like yoga with puppies and yoga with rescues is not yoga. And I can see all sides of it, but I can only tell you my opinion on it, which step one, the dogs. It's not about making sure that everyone gets a picture perfect moment with them. It's about making sure that you're fostering an environment where you can bring in dogs that are set up for success. So that's letting the people know how to interact with them. If they're puppies, they're not reaching out and snatching them. They're letting the puppies come to them. We'll talk to them about what puppy behavior looks like. So if they make a lot of sounds when they're playing, it might sound worse or like more aggressive than it is, and like how they learn to interact with each other through that type of behavior. It's about when people walk in the door, making sure that we have some like toys available, so that if a puppy gets mouthy, it's like, here is what you can do to redirect, and how we teach those types of things. And that if a puppy or a dog doesn't want to be involved, like they get there and they're like, oh, I'm overwhelmed, we always make sure that it's okay, that we allow them to find a space that feels comfortable. So maybe that's setting off a crate to the side and allowing them to just go in there, and knowing that no one is then allowed to go in and just pull them back out. It's really about allowing the dogs to get comfortable, so that they can trust people, that so that they can learn to socialize, and people learn how to continue interacting with dogs as well. And we don't just do with puppies. Puppies are easy. Don't get me wrong, if you've got a litter of puppies, like that is the easiest class. But it's also not there's also it's really important and really great for dogs who aren't puppies. And a lot of times it's making sure to have a relationship with the organization, so that they know, okay, these dogs do really well together, and they would enjoy this type of environment. They would succeed in this type of environment, instead of like, I don't know, let's just throw these in and see what happens. It's like it's a very curated experience to make sure that the dogs are happy and safe, and to make sure that the people are happy and safe. And it's maintaining that energetic environment throughout the entire class. So if a dog starts to get nervous, it's giving them a break, letting them reset, and then coming back in. And so it's a constant evaluation of, how is everyone doing? Are we setting the dogs up for success? Are we setting the people up for success? And then managing those expectations and teaching throughout the whole experience.
Yeah, and that's brilliant, because I think, people often miss the point of, it's not just for the humans. Like, this is about socializing the dog. And a lot of time, these are shelter rescue dogs. These people that are bringing in, the puppy mill puppies and the backyard breeder puppies, like, they're all about making a buck. They don't give a crap if the puppy is stressed out. Like, this is why you're a good human. You are seeing it for what it is, which is a human experience, but it's also for those dogs. And when they're stressed out or not happy or not having it, like, you give them the out, which just like you do the humans. I mean, so it works both ways. I love that. And that was brilliantly said, because I think, you're right about the marketing. People will see yoga with puppies. They'll see, even like yoga outside with dogs, and they like latch on to that, because people want that photo up, just like the yoga with goats that we see all the time. So yeah, really nicely said. I've been wanting, to talk about that on this podcast forever, and I've just not had the proper guests. And of course, here you are. Anyway, for you, like, not to say like you're not doing great now, but do you see kind of like 5 years ahead? Like, I hate when people ask me this question, because I don't even know what tomorrow will bring, but like, do you have any like long-term hopes, dreams, plans?
Ooh, yes. I definitely have long-term hopes and dreams, and I kind of have them as like separate things. So in my mind, there's like the side of our business that is the rescue animal focused, and how I want to continue growing that is, I want to be a resource for organizations. So personally, I emotionally am not able to be the person that's like out there, boots on the ground, doing the work, like that type of work. But I can play a really important role in that like rescue chain, like life cycle, which is being a resource and having an audience and being able to, like educate people through XYZ. And so it's going to be continue building relationships with the different national organizations to see, what do they need? What do they need people to know? What do people need to know about, even the smallest things of, I found a dog, what do I do next? And like, our entire, the full picture of Nashville and Tennessee, animal welfare and that type of thing. And so I just want to continue being a resource for them. So it means if, hey, I've got this one dog I've been trying to get some exposure on, or can you help me? Can you come? Can they come to the studio for the day? And we've done that before where it's like, hey, this dog is getting a little bit stressed out, or we want to learn a little bit more about it. Can it come with you to the studio today for the day and hang out? And, depending on the dog, it's like they can meet some students, and that one can make students feel a lot more comfortable coming in the door when they might be nervous, which is obviously a plus for us. And it helps us, be that small temporary band-aid, that resource for that organization, for that animal, to maybe get them to de-stress a little bit for the day. It's like, hey, maybe this rescue they're low on blankets. Easy. We can do a blanket drive. Our students will come out of the woodworks and do spring cleaning and whatever it is. And so it's just being able to be flexible to meet the needs that are going to constantly be changing, and how can we utilize our network to do that. But also it's a relationship. And so I've always felt like from a marketing perspective, like it's really hard to just sit in front of a camera and be like, hey, I'm me and you should come to my class. It's like, okay, I do this, but we can grow our studio with a foundation of supporting local organizations, with community support, with all of those things. And it's a balancing act. And so the goal is to continue growing the Yoga with Rescue classes, to continue educating, to hopefully help make an impact on, people's outlook on rescues, on our local shelter, and to see things maybe a little bit differently. And then from like 5 to 10 years now, from the yoga fitness side, I really hope that we'll be able to purchase the building one day, so that we can grow our aerial side and do more circusy things. And right now we're working on a 200-hour yoga teacher training. So we want to be able to teach people how to be yoga teachers. So that's like on the docket for 2026. And so that we can continue hopefully instilling our values of movement and values of community in, future fitness, future movement instructors to come.
I love that. Just the better together, the fact that you have that in your brain, I think says a lot about you. So yeah, I mean, brilliant business model, to be honest with you. I don't see how you're not going to be successful for a very long time. But thank you so much, Alex, for joining me. Again, everybody, please support these businesses that support Live Like Brew Foundation. It's so important to us to give back and make sure the communities that you all live in, who is always helping out. And obviously Alex really spreads her wings there in Nashville, helping as many rescues and animals as she can. By the way, I'm waiting for the one dog that comes into the studio one day that might need rescue, and then you have 6 dogs,
It's been close. I've come close, and it's tough.
I love it. Thank you, Alex, so much. Alex, everybody, go check out the social media. It's in the post, or you saw it throughout the video. Supporting sponsors, you are up. Thank you to our supporting sponsors. On the corner of Montrose and Troy in Chicago's Irving Park neighborhood, you'll find a hidden gem known as Templestowe Pub. They have a great selection of local draft beers, and the Malort is always flowing. Oh, no. Join us for a charity bingo event or a tap takeover with a local brewery. Don't want to leave your dog at home? All good, bring them along. Whether you're throwing darts or playing a banger on the jukebox, you're guaranteed to have an awesome time. So head on over to 3135 West Montrose and look for the old style sign. The Canine PT is Chicago's highest rated dog physical therapy clinic, and they're dedicated to enhancing the lives of your 4-legged companions as they age or when recovering from an injury. Give the gift of pain relief to your furry friends. They also offer a discount for rescue dogs. For more information, visit theCaninePT.com. Thank you, Alex. Shop small. Get gift cards this holiday season. Please, I'm begging you, do not shop big box stores.